Hey everyone, today we see what happens after Peter identifies Jesus as the Messiah. Jesus then began to teach that the Son of Man must suffer many things and be rejected by the elders, the chief priests, and the teachers of the law, and that he must be killed, and after 3 days rise again. He spoke plainly about this, and Peter took him aside and began to rebuke him. But when Jesus turned and looked at his disciples, he rebuked Peter. "Get behind me, adversary," he said. "You don't have in mind the concerns of God, but merely human concerns." Then he called the crowd to him along with his disciples and said, "Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. Whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me and for the gospel will save it. What good is it for someone to gain the whole world yet forfeit their life? What can anyone give in exchange for their life?" Don't you feel bad for Peter in this moment? He thinks he's got it all figured out. He's found the Messiah. He correctly identifies him, confesses it to him. And then Jesus, this king who's supposed to come and fix everything by making Israel great again, he says he's going to be rejected and killed. Right? That's not the game plan. How can you kick out the Romans if you're dead? I better remind Jesus what his job is here, right? Is what Peter's thinking, which leads to his newly identified Messiah calling him Satan, or an adversary. So where have we trusted in what one of my teachers, Randy Harris, calls the gospel of Peter? Believing in victory through violence, right? That Jesus is meant to be a conquering king, and we should too. That it's good news for our side and bad news for the other guys. Because of course, we're always the innocent good guys, and they're not. Right? The kingdom of God will show up when we conquer, just like any other worldly kingdom. Right? This false gospel, it will call you to give up your life. But not by laying it down for the way of Christ, but by dying for the cause. Right? It puts the enemy on the cross rather than taking up our own. And we'll see later at Jesus' arrest that Peter still believes this, right? He's still willing to take up a sword against Jesus' enemies, right? Maybe willing to die in battle, but he loses faith when Jesus tells him to lay his sword down. Jesus tells Peter, and he tells us not to throw our life away, even if it means we would inherit all the kingdoms of the world. That's the devil's wilderness temptation, which the church has over and over given into. So, to all who trust in this gospel of violence, Jesus speaks the same word. Get in line behind me. Stop being an adversary. Concern yourself with the way of God. Lay down your weapons, take up your cross, and follow me. And Peter missed the last part of Jesus' message about being raised again. Hopefully we don't too. Hopefully we trust that if we're willing to take on suffering through self-denial, that God will also raise us up. That if we're willing to pay that price, God will make it right.